that time of the week again. We're over here locked in for UFC Baku, Azerbaijan. Barely got the visas to come on out, but we made it. And I'm here with Unc. I'm your host, Moneyline Mike, as always. Unc thought he wasn't good enough for me last week, so I was solo dolo. So was Hot Hand too. Hot Hand's supposed to pop in, but we don't know where he is. He's somewhere in the village right now. But we have a decent card of two former or possible contenders at light heavyweight between Jamal Hill and Khalil Rountree, both brutalized already by Poton Pereira, and it's a decent card here. We're in the middle of nowhere, barely got the visas, couldn't even take the jet. So
No,
now we're locked
no
in
Jack.
near the
Customs was terrible.
we have we have the view of the port right here, and we're chilling. Unc's over here. He was stressing the flight. What's your opinion about this card? So from first glance.
All right. Well, first of all, it took us a week to get the visas from Aladdin, Abu the monkey, and two guys named Otto and Otto that are from Russia and Siberia or something. But we got it worked out. Second, to the card. In beautiful Azerbaijan, Khalil Rountree, I think, wins the main event in less difficulty than people are projecting. His level of Muay Thai and like the way he studied it is like different than you would study it in like an American school. I don't remember who he finished, but you can go back to the example. There was a guy on the ground and he kicked him in the ribs to stop the fight. Jamal Hill is better at wrestling, but I mean, I think Roundtree has it locked up. And then co-main event, yeah, we'll get to it then. It's Fiziev and Bahamondes,
Yeah,
so that
solid
should
slate
be
already.
yeah.
So we'll get right into it with no further ado. And we have an opening matchup. What we're going right now is off the Tapology order. We don't know if this is the actual fight order. They changed it a couple times, but start off with two heavyweights. We got Hamdi Abdelwahab and Muhammad Usman, brother of Kamaru, who just got a W and proved that he's not washed or Buckley just sucks last week. But Abdelwahab, he's known for being an Olympic level wrestler out of Egypt and also known for popping for multiple steroids after his close win over Dontel Mays. Um, that ended up getting overturned to a no contest after he got popped, but then he came back after that and fought and on February. Got a split decision win over Jamal Pogues. I'm not quite sure if he actually got that W, but on the record sheet says that he was getting jabbed up a lot. He was outstruck, but he only went for one takedown. Jamal Pogues is a big guy. Got the takedown, ended up getting the split, so I guess maybe some favorable judging there to keep him undefeated. And now he's over here fighting Muhammad Usman. Usman, I'm not quite sure if he's UFC level. He has an alright jab, and he has a pretty decent reach advantage here. If you're looking at the matchup, despite them being the same height, he has a 6-inch reach advantage. That might pay dividends on the stand up somewhat, but also coming into this fight, with respect to their last weigh-ins, Abdul Wahab weighed in at 260. He's probably going to weigh in around there, maybe 255 at the minimum. And then you have Muhammad Usman in his last bout against Thomas Peterson. He weighed in at 236. So can Abdul Wahab with his Greco-Roman, I believe it is. I'm not sure if it's traditional, but I think it's Greco-Roman at Olympic level. Is his wrestling at that much of a weight difference going to play a factor, or is Muhammad Usman with the better cardio going to be able to strike his way to a decision? Maybe I don't see Hamdi getting cleaned out, getting knocked out unless he gasses late rounds and it's like a volume TKO. I think his striking, although he's going to be at a reach disadvantage, has more power, is more precise, and despite him not having much movement, he goes straight down the pipe. and he's throwing stuff, and he mixes it up. He can get takedowns. He has high level grappling, as I've said before. And my official lean for this fight is gonna be Hamdi Abdelwahab, the a decision. I just think that his grappling, his decision lines at around plus 130. I think that he might be live for a knockout, so you might want to just play the money line instead. But overall, I think that Muhammad Usman's durable enough to last, and this fight might get closer than you'd want it to be, which is why the line is like this. Because it's two guys that are unreliable, and it's the bottom of the barrel of heavyweight. And I think Hamdi, they might want to push him if it gets to a decision. Usman's days are numbered, I believe, in the UFC. But so I have Hamdi Abdel Wahab money line and on the decision as the official pick. How are you feeling about that, Unc?
Uh, yeah. So Usman doesn't have a good gas tank. He's a southpaw. From watching him previously, I really expected more out of him, and he hasn't shown it. So I have Abde Halawab Hamdi. I have Hamdi money line to win the fight, and I think he is a better striker. Than, in my opinion, I think he's a better striker than Usman. I mean, I ran the tape back with Dontel Mays, and he was picking Dontel Mays apart, and was able to use his wrestling when he could, on the ground. I mean, even if they're wrestling, cancels each other out. Muhammad Usman's striking is really bad, in my opinion. It, I just, I don't remember anything to say like, yeah, that's crisp striking. And I think Hamdi gets it by a decision, and we're gonna just see two heavily labored heavyweights, like breathing hard decision, and that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah, so we're in agreements there on Hamdi. Uh, he's undefeated. He's see if he comes. He might be juiced. Maybe over here they're not. Maybe they're not testing the same over here in Azerbaijan. But hopefully he comes in on steroids and we can get him a W because that's pretty decent value. I feel like relative to how much he can win. I probably line it more as a minus 180, minus 200 line if I'm thinking about it, not minus 150 ish. But we'll move on to the next bout. We got Tagir Ulanbekov taking on Azat Maksum. So Tagir was originally supposed to take on Kiori Hoguchi. Uh, got got canceled. I think Hoguchi pulled out. Uh, and now he's taking on Azat Maksum, who is a decent striker. He's high up with his boxing, but he has power and precision in his hands. He also has above average knowledge in terms of grappling. I think that I'm not saying he's overwhelmingly good with his grappling, but he knows how to get himself in good positions with submissions as well as sprawls. And I just think overall in this fight, on short notice for Azat Maksum, I think Tagir is going to be a little bit too much for him. The way that he stands up and it's mostly boxing, not a lot of kicks being thrown. It it's gonna lead to some level changes for Tagir, in my opinion, and I think Tagir is gonna be able to lay on him and be able to use his size. And he's more technical of a striker. Although Azat has a puncher's chance with his power, I don't think that I don't think on short notice he's gonna be able to take out Tagir, who has I think championship possibility in his future. Tagir obviously training with Islam Makhachev, all the Nurmagomedovs for a while since the father at Nurmagomedov. So he does obviously has the wrestling. He has a background in Muay Thai, I believe. So he's well rounded, and you're getting him around minus 400. Not quite sure how you play that. Probably play it on like a an overline, maybe like with the round two to start. I'll look for those lines while Unc gets his spill out about this fight.
I mean, I don't really have much to say. Like, as Zat is their guy from their region, and I watched his tape. He definitely can scrap. Um, but like, it's Tagir. Like, he should win this fight. One thing that I did notice though is that Azat is he's coming for finishes. He's not coming for decisions. So, um, if Tagir screws around, it could backfire. But like, I was trying to think like for bets, like what we could do, what we could throw out. I mean,
Uh,
I
I'm taking a look right now, looking at like how the rounds around. If you take Tagir Ulanbekov and over 299 and a half seconds or 5 minutes, it is on DraftKings. It's pretty much round two to start, but you get it at better odds than if you're taking out another book that way. You're getting it at minus 220, so that's playable in a parlay for sure. I think Tagir gets this done. I don't think after watching the tape again, um, I think Tahir will have the grappling advantage. Charles Johnson was putting Azat in some pretty tough positions and sprawls, and I think that that just tells me that if Tahir is able to employ his defense, he might be able to put him in even worse positions. And Charles Johnson almost subbed Azat, so maybe it's not as safe. I think the first round's gonna be them testing each other, Azat trying to land some tough strikes, and Tahir trying to stay technical at range and you might want to play around a half round or a maybe 1 round, but I don't want to do anything past that. I think Tagiri gets a W though. Uh, Being on short notice for Azat plays a big role.
yeah, to like no, don't really have much more to say. Tagir gets the win. It's just how you want to formulate your bet to try to show that. But there's definitely strong chance that this doesn't see the judges, but at the same time, um, they can play the game the whole fight, and it might go to decision. But yeah, I think this Azat like being in there and being over, like being like here, like where he's fighting from, and kind of this area. I think he's going to want to try to put a show on, and there's a good chance that it may not see the judges, but I'm leaning more with getting to gear and getting as little time on the clock in a parlay to make it playable odds. So I agree with you, Mike.
All right, so we'll go on from that bout, which is going to be a nice one. We'll go over to Irina Alekseeva versus Claudia Syguła, two low-level women's MMA practitioners. And you look at Irina Alekseeva, and these guys are the same height, but the power difference is a bit different. Claudia Segula with a 3-inch reach advantage, and I think she's quicker within and more technical with her striking in the pocket. But I think Irina is way stronger of a fighter, more aggressive and pressure based, and she she throws pretty strong straights. She doesn't have any type of gas tank. Claudia Segula, she seems to have somewhat cardio. Irina Alekseeva though has some power behind her, and I think she can get a finish in most girl fights. I just don't think she has the technicality to really get my attention on a bet. She's at like minus 275 on some books right now, and uh, I just don't know how to justify paying her. They both lost to Melissa Mullins as their last loss. Mullins fighting as well on this card, but she got the TKO over Segula, and Melissa Mullins got the decision win over Irina. Irina used some pressure and her strength to be able to win. I think 1 round on that, but this fight's tough to call. I think if Irina can't get her out of there, Claudia Segula is probably gonna play this play this fight pretty close with her technicality. So it's tough to say because Alekseeva is better on the ground as well. If they get down there, she is lost for a submission. I'll probably lean Alekseeva at the end of it all. Not happily, but I I think I probably lean her knockout. If she can get, I think she can get Claudia Syguła out of there. I think Syguła isn't UFC level. She hasn't fought really anybody. And if she got dominated by Melissa Mullins, who had a competitive fight with Irina, maybe the power would be too much for her. But there's not much to say about this low level bout. What do you feel about it, Unc?
Not really much more to say or to touch on the topic. From what I saw on review, I think Arena should be able just to battle, beat up Claudia, and I mean get her out of there. There's nothing on. Claudia has like an arm bar from like 2021 against like an 0-1 fighter, never fought again, and then has like decisions against like 3-0-1, 0-1, 5-2. Like I think it's Irina all the way. Um, yeah, I think
Yeah,
they just kind of needed to throw someone in there, and
yeah. I
I don't
think
know
she's
where Claudia's
Polish. I think Alexei. No, I think
from.
Alekseeva's. I think is Russian, and I think Claudia's Polish. So
Polish.
yeah, so I guess they're
Yeah.
around the same area. But we'll move on from that. It won't take too
Now,
long.
yeah, no, the last thing I'll leave it on though is for anybody that listens to this, Syguła is written down as training out of now American Top Team. How long has she been there? I have no idea, but I mean, I don't know how much that would really play a difference. But just wanted to throw that in there. She is at a main level gym. So
All right, we'll move on to the next bout. We got Melissa Mullins, who beat both those girls we just talked about, and she's taking on Daria Zheleznyakova.
who she
Who
already beat too.
Yeah, I watched that fight yesterday, and Daria in the beginning was beating the absolute shit out of Melissa. Melissa couldn't manage the height and the reach advantage, and she was getting stole with some big shots. But then she ended up being able to get Zheleznyakova to the ground and being able to employ some vicious ground and pound for the TKO right before the end of the round. And that wasn't that far ago. That was like a year and 8 months ago. Um, and Zheleznyakova has, there's no, they have it down to the same reach and around the same height, but Zheleznyakova just looks like a taller fighter. She's just not as good as a overall grappler. I think she comes from a boxing background or something, a striking background. So she's over at the MMA factory. Uh, she's fighting with some decent comp. I think that Mullins. This fight's closer than the odds are saying. I'll say. I think that this is closer to a pickup line, and the value lies with Zheleznyakova. I know Mullins got the finish, but if you look in that fight, Zheleznyakova almost got a finish within the first minute or so of the fight, and you could say that the finish was the stoppage was early in the in that bout as well because it was right before the end of the bout. I want to see exactly what the time was. Um,
Yeah, I have it. They have it as 4:59, meaning the ref stepped in with one
yeah,
second.
so I think she could have survived and easily stood up and fought another round. It was a little bit early, and I think that's why they're giving them this bout here. Selesnyakova had her really hurt, and I think it's closer to the line. Uh, Maybe an under in this bout because they're coming with bad blood. Uh, that's all I can really say about this one. This is more interesting of a fight because it's a rematch and they're actually decent. They're not bottom of the barrel, but it's not something I want to throw money at. My official lean's gonna be uh I think the wrestling's gonna gonna end up getting Melissa Mullins a decision victory. Or maybe I'm trying to think how to approach this fight because the fight almost ended early the last time, both sides, and that was very early in the fight. But it's a women's fight. At the end of the day, it's up to you how you want to play it. I'll probably think about maybe a line, but as of right, unless I see something on the scales, Daria has the value in my opinion. If you want to take her, she could definitely get a finish. I think with a knockout or something. I think that the TKO is a fluke for Melissa Mullins, even though she has the grappling advantage. But how do you feel about this? Unc? How do you feel about this? I think we lost Unc. Well, not like this fight matters anyway. So we'll go over to Jung Young Park and Ismail Naurdiev. Oh, this bout right here. This is another tough bout, and Jung Young Park is a well-rounded guy. Um, he does everything well. He can grapple. He's really good in the clinch. He has some good timing and counter striking. Where Ismail Naurdiev is also decently well-rounded. He can grapple his way through stuff. Uh, uh, he has some decent striking, and at one point, you look a couple years back. I think it was like 2020. If you're going pretty back, he was pick 'em line with Sean Brady. Obviously, you see where the trajectory of their careers went after, but Naurdiev was originally supposed to be pretty high level. I think Park might have a little too much trouble
Fight.
in the clinch game. Are you alive now, Unc?
You're back,
What?
bro. I couldn't hear you any. I've been talking and there was no screen, and I've been saying you had to reboot the system.
No, I've been fine on my end over here.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what's recorded then.
Well, it's recorded on my end, so I'll be fine.
All
Uh,
right. Well,
uh, because whatever is going on within the live stream on the Fade Factory right now has nothing to do with the recording. They're like independent.
all
Uh,
right. Well, I basically said that we think Melissa Mullins will win the fight, but the value pick would be in uh, Daria's line or like round three to starts like minus 130. What did you suggest?
uh, I said I think I lean Melissa Mullins, but I would not be surprised if Daria knocked her out on an alt line. Or not knocked her out on like an alt bet if you want to take like a Daria knockout. There's a lot of ways you can view this fight, in my opinion. Um, so I don't really know how to play it. Uh,
Right.
because I could see either fighter winning. I could see it going the distance, and I can see it ending inside the distance. If I had a gun to my head, I'd probably say it ended in a finish. But then you're betting on a women's fight with two maybe non-killers, but both these girls do have finishes. So if you wanted to bet this fight, I'd probably take the under because it's bad blood. But these girls do know each other after fighting once, so
Yeah, it's
I
like
don't know.
50-50.
But over to this Ismail Naurdiev fight and Jung Young Park. Uh, Park's good in the clinch. He's well rounded, like I said before. He's smart. He gets in the brawl sometimes though, and that can hurt him. Ismail Naurdiev is the same way. He doesn't really have, I think, extremely high fight IQ. Uh, I don't think he has high fight IQ, but Jung Young Park probably is going to be too much for him. Uh, but this fight's closer than the line. I think that Naurdiev will be able to pull through overall. Or not Naurdiev. I think Park will be able to pull through overall. And but if I think if you wanted to play a dog, this would be the dog to play. This is one of my favorite dogs here, even though I think Park. I'm just not sold. I'm just looking at Park's resume, and he's lost on the regional scene. He's lost to. He's lost to some good competition if you're looking at it. Anthony Hernandez, pretty good. Shavkat Rakhmonov, and then you're going back pretty far. I lost to RoboCop, Andre Muniz. Split decision win over Brad Tavares. The line, I'm just going to let the line do the talking and take Jung Young Park my official prediction. I'll take it by decision. My lean over here, probably my best bet, is going to be the over. I think that they're both pretty solid, but I'm not running the counter for this fight either. At the same time, next bout, Obon Elliott taking on Suk Young Ko. I probably butchered that, but Ko Contender Series guy. Got a big upset over. Hey, Unc, you're back in. Do you hear me? He's cooked. But got an upset victory. I think he was around the same odds here as he was then, around minus 400 favorite. But Ko is also he's similar to our last guy in Park. He's just durable, great clinch work. Um, he's a counter striker, so he's waiting for people to throw and overextend to try to find his shots, and he's pretty good at it when you're looking at it. Um, Elliott though is a well-rounded guy. He can strike. He's also a counter striker. He's waiting to sit back, but he is a better hammer, I think, than a nail. And when I'm looking at who I want to pick in this fight, I'm probably going to lean Elliott. I think the line is pretty wide at minus 450. Uh, Suk Chung Ko, I don't think he's going to get finished though. I think he has a pretty solid chin. Um, Good enough base and strength to be able to last with Obon Elliott. And I like the over 2.5 at minus 140. I think that line is decent. Um, Another way you can attack is Elliott by decision plus 115. You could take Seokhyun Ko on a spread. A couple ways you can go at it depending on what your personal read is for the fight. I think that Elliott's going to be able to use more volume and the kicks to be able to sway the judges at least a little bit more. I think his aggressiveness is going to be able to win this fight. But I don't think he's going to be able to get Ko out of there. And if you're looking at Obon Elliott's previous fights, uh, he has a lot of decisions recently. You look over at in his last 5 fights, Obon Elliott he finished Basil Hafez in the 3rd round. But Preston Parsons, decision. Val Woodburn, decision. His fight in Daniel White Contender Series, majority decision. Even before that, 3 more fights in a row, decision. So I think this guy Ko is durable enough to last. And on the other side with Ko, if you're looking at his resume, he's coming off unanimous decision against a sharp striker in Contender Series. And he went to decision 5 out of his 11 wins. So, and that's at a lower level where he's getting unanimous decisions against uh, some other some other Asian promotion. What is this? AFC. I don't know. I don't even know what the promotion is. AFC 17. This bout was in South Korean uh, card. So I don't know. I think that this fight goes the distance and Obama gets a decision. I'd probably drug that out. How do you feel about that, Unc? Right when I right when I right when I asked, he disappeared off the face of the earth. I think I'm going solo again, but I'll keep it going. And right before we go to the main card, I just want to point out that this is always brought to you by MMA Gems, which is our premium section of Fade Factory, our free Discord, link in the bio. Uh, Over to the left of the screen, you'll see just a quick little picture of some of the tabs in our free course at Fade Factory. We got a university section so you can learn how to um, honestly be a long-term profitable gambler. That's all of our goal here. You learn how to properly hedge, understand implied probability in relations to odds. You're learning how to find trap lines if they even exist, but you learn how to find odds that are trying to draw you in or that are just being inflated for popularity. You're trying to see the fakes. You learn all that in our university section, which is free. Join in the link in the bio. Then, if you want to see our premium plays for all MMA, PFL, UFC, Cage Warriors, BKFC, then you would tap into MMA Gem, which is $10 a month and 25 for 3 months. Best value in the game right now if you're really looking at it. We're giving you for multiple promotions, multiple times a week, and we take our betting serious. It's not just dart throws. We're locking in on value, and we're using this as an investment, and we're flipping money, and we're just dominating Vegas at the same time. So make sure you guys tap into at the very least, tap into Fade Factory. The link will be in the bio. That's free. And then if you want to take the next step, you want to use the MMA Gems services. Those will be inside the cord. But with that, we'll move to the main card. Bogdan Grad, Muhammad Naimov. So Bogdan Grad, hard hitting striker, but he has some strength. Um, he can strike at range pretty well. He's a Dana White Contender Series guy. Oh, is Unc you're alive?
Alive, man. I've been back since the announcement or the that promo that we got to run.
Yes. So, CSAN CSTAN in our chat right now in our live, he said that he heard me. So it's on your. I think it's on your end that you were breaking up. But
All right.
do you have any words on what was the fight before the spill between Sung Hyun Ko and Oban Elliott?
Uh, I don't think that the I think the Iron Turtle wins. Uh, he's fighting Naurdiev, so Iron Turtle's like -192 on the money line. That's probably just what I'm going to take. I just think that his slow and steady pace and surprisingly good in the phone booth, striking in close, and above average jiu-jitsu will get him a decision win or maybe even a sub. And then I don't have anything for the Oban fight. I mean, what did you even say to play it? How to play it?
I personally, I said I lean Oban, but I think that the line's a little too wide. I think Oban decision's probably my official like lean on the result. I'm probably gonna play with an over, like an over 2.5 or plus 3.5 on the other side or something like that. I think he could have got 30-27 now, so I'll probably take the over 2.5 personally.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Saturday, I'll make up my mind, but I think Oban's winning the fight, and his money line is not playable. So,
All right, so this bout, I was just saying about Bogdan Grad, strong. Then on the other side, you have Muhammad Naimov, a grappler. I'm not really sold on him, but he is pretty skilled with his ground game. I think he has a lot. He leaves a lot to be desired in the striking. I think Bogdan Grad might be able to expose that. He's had some iffy wins, and he lost to Lopez on short notice, so he can lose to a striker. And Bogdan Grad has some strength. Thing is, can Bogdan Grad's tank hold up? Uh I think this fight's going under, if I had to guess, but it's not the lock of the century. I'm personally leaning Bogdan Grad. I think Muhammad Naimov is a fraud. I think they're both kind of frauds, but I think Naimov is the real fraud here. And I think Bogdan Grad could probably test that chin to get victory via at least volume because Naimov doesn't really do much when he's in these grappling exchanges. He's not really over here killing guys. He's mostly looking for position. I could see him winning that way, maybe, but with the odds getting taken into account, I think Bogdan Grad has a really good chance of getting the win here. How do you feel?
I mean, Ogden Grad is like he's like over plus 200 on his money line. I think he has a good chance of winning this though too. And I think the pick to take is Bogdan Grad on a alternate line. Um, because I mean, if he gets finished and goes out on a shield, I mean, it is what it is. He's a tough ass dude. But I'm looking like his alternate plus 5.5 is minus 120. Plus 7.5 is minus 145. Like I may take one of those. I don't know why they think Naimov is should be that high of a favorite over him.
I'm not like,
But
yeah, I'm looking at his resume and I'm just like, I see like, uh, no one really that's jumping off the page. You're looking at W's over, Con Ofley doesn't jump off the page. Unanimous decision too. A kind of a fluky leg injury, Eric Silva win. Nathaniel Wood was a close one. You got a W there, but who's Nathaniel Wood? What's he been doing recently? He he's nine. He went 9-3 in the UFC. Oh, he did just get a victory. He is coming back up, but he was young in that bout. I'm pretty sure. If I'm looking at his age now, 31. This was 123. Yeah, that is probably his best win. Nathaniel Wood, Jamie Malarkey too. He got a finish over Jamie Malarkey, but who hasn't fucking knocked out Jamie Malarkey at this point? Um, I think the value is with Bogdan Grad here, and he's gonna be actually my official pick. Or take him as a dog. I'll say by knockout, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a decision either. So, who I'll rock with. You're going with Naimov, or you're going with Bogdan Grad with your official.
I'm going Bogdan Grad and Naimov is from
It's a
Tajikistan, so that could maybe have something to do with
yeah.
why he's
Well, no, he's just
the
a
money.
he has some really good grappling and like submission threats, I guess. But I'm not really seeing him finishing Bogdan Grad here, unless it's maybe like a sub when Bogdan Grad makes a mistake trying to get back up or something.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm taking Bogdan Grad, and I think they'll go to a decision if anything. And if Naimov sleeps him, then like, all right, it is what it is. But I mean, Bogdan Grad's a tough ass dude. Like, if you're gonna go in there and bang it out and you get the win, then whatever. But yeah, I'm uh just reviewing the underdogs on the card. I probably would also take Bogdan Grad as the official underdog.
Yeah, I think he's one of the top ones. I look back at it at the end and really see who I think he is probably the top contender. Looking at it right now, um, we'll get going on the next one on the card, and we have Nazim Sadykhov, uh, taking off Nicholas Motta. Sadykhov, historically from Azerbaijan, but I'm pretty sure he's an American New York guy. Then you have Nicholas Motta coming in. He's a Brazilian. He has power. He's a brawler. Sadikov, he's more of a crisp striker. He has some decent grappling, but nothing really noteworthy. He did have a submission win over Terrence McKinney. He knocked out but I think he was losing to Evan Elder, and then it was a doctor stoppage for that knockout. So take that into account. And then the Ismail Bonfim one, he was also getting worked in that first round, and then I think it was a head kick and he put the toe in the dude's eye. And then they asked him in the corner if he could fight, and he said yes, and the ref thought he said no or something like that, or some type of miscommunication, and that fight ended up getting stopped for doctor stoppage. We got paid out because I remember we had I think it was Nazim
They
Sadykhov
asked him in English. They asked him in English instead of Arabic or whatever, and we got paid out for it.
plus 3.5. Was yeah, was what we had. I think it was like plus money, but uh, this line is ridiculous. Minus 450. Nazim Sadykhov. I think he's more technical and has more tools than Nicholas Motta, but when I'm really looking at um what threat there really is, I don't see him being a minus 400 threat. Uh, it's not really like getting my eye going. How do you feel about the line overall?
It's their guy. We could look out the window right now to the right and see him walk by. So that's why it's so
Yeah,
minus a million.
yeah. If it goes the distance, he probably would give it to Sadykhov,
Like
also because of how he's coming up.
look at these cats walking by right here. They're probably going to put $1 million on him right now.
Yeah, they probably are on the way. If gambling's even legal here, they're on their way to do it. Um,
Like
but yeah, I'm looking at Nicholas Motta, and you're not really looking at anything that's like Mahashate, like Tom Nolan. That Tom Nolan W, he was like plus 300. Got that lucky shot in the first round. A sneaky play that I like here. Let me look at what the line is right now. They have the line for the over under in this fight at 1.5 because I think they're both guys that go at it pretty quickly. But I'm thinking about it from the perspective of Nazim Sadykhov. Most of his finishes are like they're doctor stoppages. He's not over here flatlining dudes. Nicholas Motta isn't like some guy who's getting straight floored and put to sleep. Um, while on the other side, I think Nazim Sadikhov's gonna play this one at range in the beginning and try to gain distance. He's fighting in front of his the motherland, as he was saying. I saw in an interview. I think he might be a little timid to go and get knocked out. I think he's aware of Motta's power and that that's the way he's gonna lose if he's engaging um in a brawl and lets him get a shot. I'm not touching the money line on Nazim Sadykhov either. But I was looking at the over 1.5 at minus 128. I think that's a possible play, and maybe a parlay piece fight to start round two at minus 205. Another read that I like there. What do you think about the spout?
round round two to how much? What was the odds?
Round two minus 205. But I said, what do you think about the fight? Like, what's your
Ye-
picks?
Yeah, well, that's probably going to be my prediction because uh, Mata, unless we see something tomorrow, he is really shitty with his weight cuts and how he carries like his nutrition and his body overall. And then Nazim is like, I mean, he's fighting it in front of his home people, so he's probably been replaying the Rocky music 6 times a day, running up mountains and stuff. So, like, I think that there's a really good chance that this doesn't see the distance because I can see Nazim outlasting Mata. Because like I said, like Mata has like he doesn't cut weight well. He has like a fat typish body, and then like he gets his wins off like first round KOs, like or then he had one unanimous decision. But it's like it's that first round, like or that the first couple exchanges, like if you can be better. And I think Nazim's physique and what he's prepared for is going to be better. And then he'll eventually either win out, like I said, with a KO because Mata will be getting hit a lot and having to go in the later rounds, or Nazim will win by decision, or Mata wins by KO. That's the three things that I think will happen. I don't see though like it going to the judges and it being split. Like I see Nazim battering
Yeah,
after
yeah, using his
after
technique.
Mata fades. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that as well. I can see. I think the over 1.5 has good value here. I don't think that these guys. I think that if anyone's getting floored early, like actually floored, no doctor stoppage type of thing, I think it's Nazim. I think that he would be the one susceptible to getting knocked out. You've seen him hurt before, and Motta has power, so I'd never be surprised if Nazim started. That's why I don't think the minus 450 is really representing. I wouldn't take him on a minus 450 line. When I first looked at the ballots before, I saw the odds, and I thought this would be a closer one. This was a shocker. I'll probably lean with Nazim Sadykhov via decision as my official prediction, but I'm probably playing that over 1.5, round two to start, maybe a to go the distance at plus money. Uh, Maybe modest spread. Not a modest spread. Maybe a Sadykhov. I don't even know. Sadykhov. No, I don't even want to touch him overall. So round prop is my suggestion. Is that what's your bet again? Is you're reading that the round two to start too?
Yeah, I have round two to start on DraftKings minus 195. That's probably what I'm gonna do because, like I and we also gotta look at the weigh-ins because there was one time historically we had like we were all in on somebody. It was the heavyweight wrestler, and then the weigh-in he looked real shitty or something, and then like he ended up winning or, but that's going to be an important thing tomorrow for what Motta looks like. But my bet is round two to start minus 195. But like if Motta for some reason comes in and like actually looks like he cut weight and he's in shape and like ripped, I'm yeah, I'm more inclined to put more than a sprinkle on the Motta by KO.
Um,
Not a lot, but
yeah.
I don't know.
That is a nice angle. I think that the odds, whatever. Let me look at the Motta KO right now, real quick before we move on. I have it up at on FanDuel right now. Motta KO plus 700. So yeah, that's more than worthy of a dart throw. I think that plus 700. I think it happens more than that. But we'll move on from that, and we'll go over to McTickback, Orolbai, and then Tofik Musayev. This is going to be a banger. McTechback Orolbai has been in some wars already. When I was watching his film, I understood the hype. Uh, he's not. He takes a lot of damage because he doesn't give a fuck. But I think that a lot of it. So in his last fight, he fought against that Polish dude. What's his name? Let me pull it up. I think he was Polish. Yeah. Matsus Rebecki, who's fucking 20 and two. He has to be on steroids. The dude's huge. And those dudes were brawling. He almost finished him. He almost got finished. I don't see Matikbek getting finished by Tofik Musayev, who uh, I was looking at his resume. I originally got gaslighted. I was looking at it, and I see so he's fighting Ryzen. He fought Bellator, lost to Alexander Shabili. Then he's beaten dudes in Bellator, got called off. Then he's in Ryzen. He lost to Roberto de Sousa. But then I thought he fought against Patricio Pitbull. The guy's name is Patricky Pitbull. It's not Patricio, and he's a 25 and 14 Brazilian who won
No,
16 and 10 in Bellator. So no, not actual
uh,
Pitbull.
like that's his nickname.
What?
You check that real good.
Yeah,
That's Pitbull. They call him. That's his nickname.
no, Patricio
He's
is what they call him, not Patricky. Patricky Pitbull the third.
what?
Yeah, it's a Patricky for he's 16-10 Bellator, 2-1 in Ryzen. He just beat Armand. He just lost to Armand Sarukian in grappling. Wait, is this that? No, no, he's not. No, yeah, he fought this
Mike,
guy. This guy fought against Usman Nurmagomedov. Yeah, no, this isn't him. This
oh
guy.
no, this is a different. This is a different guy.
Yeah,
No,
but
wait.
no, it's a different guy. That's case closed. Um, but
Oh, it's not.
yes, it is. Guy's
It's
different.
not.
Look at his picture. Like you're
Yeah,
gonna.
his face is like old and it's aged.
No, that's not Patricio Pitbull. You look at his fights. His last fight would not be against his next fight would not be Shinta Nomura and Ryzen, brother.
Oh yeah, wait, didn't he fight in the UFC?
This guy, no, not fighting the UFC. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But anyway, let's move on.
All right.
Tofik Musayev, he hasn't really fought anyone, and I'm looking at his shit. And I guess Alexander Sabelian in the playoffs of um, Grand Prix for Bellator when it was a thing. Shabili's alright, I guess. Yes, he's 24-4, but he's nothing spectacular. Obviously, if the UFC wasn't looking to sign him, he never fought in the UFC. Went 5-1 in Bellator, but he's fighting Koji Takada and Ryzen. He's fighting Akira Okada. He's fighting. He's not fighting anything close. Mtikbek Orolbai has fought at 170 before. Even though this is their same height, Mtikbek is a bigger guy in my opinion. And the guy he just fought was a fucking tank, and he was taking him down, putting pain on him. Mtikbek's straight right is crazy. This guy came up to 170, choked out fucking Euros Medic, who had only one loss at that time. He's 10-3 now, but no, yeah, he's 10-3. Euros Medic. He's only lost to Kanwali Soriano by knockout, Jalen Turner and McTickbeck. But uh, I think McTickbeck gets the W here. I don't know why the line's moving back. I don't see Tofik Musayev. Like, I don't know what people see. Like, when I'm watching the film, Tofik Musayev's getting hit by dudes that are way less good than McTickbeck. Most of his fights are in the Ryzen, so that plays a part in how you're grabbing guys against the cage. The grappling's McTickbeck all the way. So I don't really see Tofik winning. McTickbeck or Orolbai, you get him at like minus 155 now. He was at like minus 170, minus 180 before. The line might keep moving. I don't know why they think. I think it's and the age difference. I think it's an 8-year age difference. But you guys usually know how I move around with when I have an age difference like that. I don't like betting on the older fighter in situations like that because it doesn't pay off historically. But if you have 35 years old for Musayev and he's making his UFC debut, and then you have
Tofik's their dude. We probably saw him in the food court earlier.
and then you got a Kyrgyzstan guy. I don't know. I think that there's a couple reads here. I like Orolbai money line. Orolbai, the finish only. This guy's never been finished in his career, I don't think. Let me see. And he almost got finished in his last fight. And that guy who he fought in his last fight would beat the fuck out of Tofik, in my opinion. He's went up and fought at 170 against Euros Medic. Like he could fight. I'm just looking back, and the dude's never been finished. His two losses are by decision. I don't think that he's gonna lose by decision. You could take knockout only money line for McTickbeck at plus 200, or you can take finish only at minus 125. Either way, I don't see him getting finished. Um, Maybe if you get hoed because Tofik is the hometown guy, so you get the void if he loses by decision. But I do not see McTickbeck getting put out by this dude. I just don't see it. McTickbeck,
Bro,
one of my favorite plays. What do you like?
listen, listen. Like, there's certain stuff that sometimes we can see that the other person can't see, and uh, I used to say Orolbai, Orolbai, that guy.
Orolbai, yeah.
Orolbai, after the last fight, when his eye closed and he was still able to win that fight, I said, "Holy shit, that guy is on a different level of toughness." Because like it gets to the point, man, where there's certain people that like will quit in that like area, and this guy does not freaking quit. So I just can't bet. I can't bet against Orolbai. I'm almost positive I faded him in his last fight. I took Rebecca, and or maybe I took his spread or something. But the point of it is, all I remember is his eye like being shut and taking all that damage, and just literally just like it wasn't bothering him and he just was straight fighting through it. So, I mean, this Tofik guy, like, he's all about like KOs, 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 KOs. I mean, I think he's gonna try to go for a KO, and after he hits Orolbai a couple times and realizes like, oh shit, this is one of those guys where you can't just hit like with a 1-2 or like a 5-6 or like a 1-2-3-4-5-6, and he's not gonna go out. Like so, I'm backing Orolbai. You know, I don't. I just this is the hometown guy, and um, yeah, I think Orolbai will win the decision, or Tofik will gas himself or make erratical movements trying to go for a finish and get caught himself. But the level of toughness by Orolbai is like next level. Like that eye was closed, man, and he
Yeah,
and he still.
yeah, he came back and he was brawling in that bout. I just don't see it. I maybe get hoed on a line. I just don't. I don't know. But I'm gonna take my tick back here. One of my favorite plays on the card. We'll move on from this bout though, and we'll go over it. Curtis Blaydes versus Rizvan Kuniev, a fight that's been scheduled multiple times. I've taped for this fight multiple times. My answer's the same. When you're looking at Rizvan Kuniev, he's fought in Bellator or PFL. I forget which one it was. I think it was PFL, but he hasn't really fought pretty much anyone. Fought that big Brazilian dude in PFL, and he was in bad positions in that fight, even though he won. He even his bout in Dana White Contender Series against Hugo Kuna. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Hugo Kuna went on after that bout to go get knocked out in LFA on the regional scene. So not like he's over here fighting top level heavyweights, which Curtis Blaydes is. I think Curtis Blaydes is a top level heavyweight. And I think that it's just this is where you have to look at who's going to win the fight, or how do you think someone's going to win the fight? Can Kuniev use his clinching and boring style of like just grappling and employing the top pressure on Curtis Blaydes? Is yeah, you could say Curtis Blaydes has good wrestling, and you look back at his career, and he's not really fighting a lot of wrestlers. Charlton Almeida was dogging him around before that shot was found. Um, will the weight of Kuniev be able to hold him down with for 3 rounds without getting knocked out by Curtis Blaydes? And it's just a question that makes me not want to pay minus 250 on Curtis Blaydes, but I still have to lean on Curtis Blaydes knocking this dude out because of the lack of competition from Kuniev. Kuniev is training with good guys. I'm pretty sure he's in the camp with Magomed Ankalaev. But even with that, he hasn't really shown me anything. He has looping strikes, not really technical. He has knees and stuff, but he's not fighting top comp, and that's all Curtis Blaydes fights. I think that maybe the only way that Rizvan Kuniev could win is if Blaydes can't defend the takedowns, which I don't think is impossible to think about as a possibility. But I got Curtis Blaydes by knockout. Is my official prediction. How do you feel about this one, Unc?
I'm split between Curtis Blaydes by knockout or Curtis Blaydes by decision, but I don't think that there's any way that the other cat, Kuniev or whatever, but there's nothing that he showed me that like, oh, this wrestling or this grappling or this, sambo or any of this is different or, is something new. And I've always had, I know you said like Almeida kind of threw Blades around a little bit, but like overall, like if you're just talking like wrestling, I think that he's like, and I hate Curtis Blades, but I think he's the best heavyweight wrestler or one of the best has been for, years. Um, so, and he's progressed, uh, you know, leaps and bounds in the stand up over the years from when he first came into the UFC. So, yeah, it's his fight to lose, if that makes sense. As long as Curtis Blade goes in and fights his fight, he should win by a KO or decision. So.
Yeah, I can agree with that. If you want to look at, I don't really see. I don't know. I think Curtis Blades' path to victory is most likely knockout. Uh, if it gets into the later rounds, I think that the top pressure of Kuniev might be able to. If it got into the later rounds in the first place, that means that the pressure and clinch work of Kuniev worked. I feel like in my perspective, because if they're standing up and they're on the feet, it's not close. So unless this dude has an iron chin, that's I don't know if that's I don't know. I'd probably take a stab at Rizwan Kuniev decision only money line at plus 200, so you can avoid if he gets fucking knocked the fuck out. If you want to take Rizwan Kuniev, I think that's the way to play it. Decision only money line. But I'm on Curtis Blades here too, and I think that we're coming up on the co-main event. Co-main event here: Ignacio Bahamondes versus Rafael Fiziev. And this one I was thinking about all week, just the reach advantage for Bahamondes, the veteran Fiziev, who coming off a fight with Justin Gaethje fairly recently. Uh, it's just tough because if you're looking at it from a prospect perspective, you're gonna give it to Ignacio Bahamondes in a close decision, but Rafael Fiziev is still the line's near pick'em now. I'm pretty sure, so it's teetered back and forth. Fiziev opened as a favorite, then went to the dog, and then is probably around a pick'em line now. He's the hometown Azerbaijan fighter. He's gonna get the bigger oohs and ahs with the strikes. I don't. I think that he has the finishing upside here. I don't think he gets finished by Ignacio Bahamondes, barring injury. Um, it's just the height advantage. The the 5 inch height advantage, no, a 7 inch height advantage, and the 4 inch reach advantage. That's going to be a big thing, but I think the power is going to be a difference. Uh, I think Fiziev spread could be a solid play. Maybe a Fiziev finish only. Let me see what that's looking like. Fiziev knockout only money line minus 165. If you want to go that way. Submission only Ignacio because he has the better jiu-jitsu, but I don't really see this getting to the ground. I think the knockout only money line for Fiziev is probably the best and safest player to play this. Get a void, but he could win by a decision too, so then you'd be pretty angry. Pick him line or probably get Fiziev at low plus money. I'm probably riding with him as my prediction. What do you feel, Unc? I think I pick Fiziev by decision as my official pick.
Like his money line
No, I said
Fiziev.
I said how do you feel about the fight overall?
Oh, I thought you said your pick was his money line.
That's like
Um,
my lean of the fight is Fiziev. Yes, Fiziev by decision.
got you, got you. Uh, yeah, I mean, but I don't see Baha Mendez finishing Fiziev, but uh, Fiziev's been fighting a lot. I mean, he's definitely been carrying a lot more damage, and Baha Mendez really knows how to manage, like his length and height, like you already said. So, um, unless they get into some weird, someone gets stunned and then they're on the ground, uh, and Baha Mendez got like a back take and like a rear naked choke. I think that it'll go to the judges because I don't think Fiziev will be able to put anything good enough on Baha Mendez to take him out, and I don't think Baha Mendez will put enough on Fiziev to put him out. I mean, Gaethje didn't put him out, so I don't think. Well, the first time, I mean, but yeah, I'm just gonna ride with Bahamondes on his money line to win the fight, just because like the odds are low enough. I mean, that's I don't think Fiziev's gonna be able to close the distance, and like his last 2 or 3 fights, that damage has like added up. So I mean, say 3 fights ago, if he would close the distance, he'd be able to take like 60 strikes and give out 40. It might be a little bit of diminished number now because, like I said, he's been through a couple wars. So I'm gonna go at Bahamondes to use his length to control the fight and get a decision.
Understandable. He is the younger fighter too by 5 years. Taller fighter, good reach, probably more well rounded. Um, I'm still gonna ride with Fiziev, but I can't blame you for being on that side either, though. We'll go to the main event about of this card. UFC Baku coming to a close, and we have Khalil Rountree versus Jamal Hill. Uh, you go. You take this over first, Unc.
Well, Jamal Hill's the better wrestler if we're just talking about straight wrestling, nothing else. Khalil Rountree is for more technical, has more power. Jamal Hill has fought in, um, you know, he was the champion, so he does have experience. But like Khalil Rountree is just on a different level with his striking, as compared to anything that Jamal Hill would be able to train for or do. Um, uh, Khalil Rountree, like I don't know the whole thing, but he did like years in Thailand and all the places that really train like Muay Thai like differently than the states. And there's not many people that I actually see using it in the UFC in that type of way. And like the example, I can't remember who he beat, but Khalil Rountree knocked somebody down with like a hook. He didn't jump on the guy on the ground. He backed off him and he kicked him in the ribs. Like, because you're not allowed to kick a guy in the head on the ground. He kicked him in the ribs to end the fight. So his methodology of how can I injure you and his fight IQ is just higher than Jamal Hill. And Jamal Hill had that Achilles tear that, yeah, I mean, he's had fights since. I don't think he's won a fight since. He's been knocked out every fight since. And I I'm taking Khalil Rountree, money line all the way, and then side bet, probably like a unit or two on Khalil Rountree by KO, whatever it is. Because this is supposed to be 5 rounds. There's no way in hell it's going to go 5 rounds. And Khalil Rountree's like grappling isn't like bad. It's just Jamal Hill is like one of those stereotypical like Weidman, Usman, Colby, like they just want to put the pressure, and then when the other person starts thinking about the shot, Jamal Hill relaxes and tries to use his hands. He will get slept by something crazy, man. Khalil Rountree will throw like a 6 to 12 like elbow, like the thing that knocked out Korean Zombie. Like he'll be throwing crazy stuff. So like I have I know like nothing is 100, but I honestly 100% think Khalil Rountree will knock out Jamal Hill, and that is how this fight will end.
Uh, yeah, I think this fight definitely ends inside the distance. I think that's a very highly likely play. You can probably play it under at any fucking round. I think Khalil Rountree's gonna come out early, like first two round, maybe not the first round, but like second, third round, they're gonna be exchanging. The thing is that it keeps going in my head, even when I think Khalil Rountree's gonna win. Just keep thinking like Jamal Hill has that the 3 inch reach advantage, 3 inch height advantage. I just think Khalil Roundtree could get caught with that reach if Jamal Hill can last with the initial onslaught. And then the grappling, like you said, it's Jamal Hill. They're not going to grapple. I don't think these guys are grappling at all. I think they're going to be standing up and fighting. I think the under is the best play here. I would not be surprised if Jamal Hill found a strike with his length to knock out Khalil Roundtree. But I have to go Roundtree here as well. More durable. I don't really. I don't. I could see him finishing Jamal Hill with volume, but I don't think it's gonna. I don't know. I'm trying to think about where I think that the fight's gonna end, and I think it's third round, second, third round, between the second and the fourth. But I'm definitely taking the under 4.5 or whatever. The fight not to go the distance, maybe round 5 not to start. Those are the options I'm probably looking at. Money line doesn't really intrigue me here. It probably will closer to the fight. Now I have to see these. All the picks are obviously before weigh-ins and everything, so you have to look at it that way. But I'm probably going with Khalil Rountree by knockout as my official prediction. But I would not be surprised if Jamal Hill came out here and found the shot. I don't. I'd be really surprised if this went the distance though. But after that, what do you think about the Gem Dog? What's your What's your opinion on that? Are we going with Bogdan Grad or?
I think it should be Bogdangrad, and if it's not him, it would be
Rafael Fiziev?
yeah, yeah. But I think
Naurdiev.
I think there's more that can go wrong in the Fiziev fight than there is in Bogdan's fight.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Uh, we haven't done this in a while. Who's your favorite uh fighter overall for this card, winning wise?
Little Roundtree. I, I'm
Him over every single. Look at the whole entire card real quick.
yep.
Pull it up on your
I'm
phone and look.
already. That's
He's your most
that's
confident.
it.
Okay, so Khalil
Yeah,
Rountree money line. Let's pick him, and then
yeah.
Khalil Rountree money line. And my most confident is probably McTickbeck. Trying to see who has the best odds. So if we do what do you think? You think Khalil Rountree by knockout?
Yeah, I I'm like really confident. I would really need a compelling argument to talk me out of that one.
Looking at the double chances and stuff, make sure we get the best possible line on this.
Because we like when we talk about this, we say like, oh, we think that the fighters and the coaches went and looked at the injuries and like they'll know what to throw and blah blah. But it's like we don't really know. Khalil Roundtree is one of those type of people with his background that he'll have Jamal Hill's X-rays and stuff, and he'll be throwing oblique or calf oblique side kicks. And he trained all that. Like I said, the Muay Thai he learned you can't learn in the States. He learned the legit, like he fought for the whole how you would do it over there.
Yeah, I'm looking at how we can play this. I'm looking at Khalil Rountree knockout or decision. DraftKings is hilarious. So the knockout or decision double chance is minus 120. Yeah, his money line is minus 110. But well, yeah, it's probably the best odds we're gonna get. Let me just check ESPN bet last, just in case. But for our me and your gem block parlay or whatever for the at least for the podcast since we haven't done it in a while. Let me pull it up. We have Khalil Roundtree and then Nick Tickbeck Orolbai or I can't even fucking say it right now. Orolbai. Where is he at?
If that guy ever gets knocked out, I want to see sequence or what they hit him
Yeah,
with.
if he ever gets knocked out, he had to get hit with something fierce. Super fierce.
Crazy.
Alright, so here we go. We get a plus 215 is the best. Plus 217 on ESPN bet is your best odds. But you're getting it around the same elsewhere. plus 215. You get McTickbeck or Orolbai money line and Khalil Rountree either the money line or the knockout or points. So obviously, we don't really see Khalil Rountree coming out here and subbing Jamal Hill. So that's just to spruce it up. But you're gonna get the money line pretty much around the same odds. So you might as well just take the money line and get the minus 215 regardless. Orolbai and Khalil Rountree money line. That's our little chalky locky. And then if you had to pick, let's see one more method of victory besides that fight. We can get a little lotto for these guys too. Besides that fight, both of those fights are off limits. What's your favorite method of victory, like, of a fighter?
Yeah. Probably one of the chick fights to go to decision.
No, I'm saying like for a fighter, like
Oh, for a fighter?
Alyssa Mullins by decision, or like something like that. We get good enough odds so we can do a little two-legger and get them a little kind of a lotto or like higher odds play, higher than plus 200.
I mean, probably be Irina, whatever, by decision plus 150. Unless she
He
somehow.
said somebody say
Unless,
Oban. Max is talking right now in chat. He says somebody say
yeah,
Oban.
shout out, Max. Yeah, Max. I was gonna say I was gonna say Iron Turtle decision,
He was saying
but
Oban Elliott.
yeah, no. But then he put on the bottom
Oh
Park
shit! Yo,
Iron.
yeah. Uh, yeah. We can
So
we can get you in on it, Max. Yeah, we can get you in on this. Let's do it. We'll add him to
all right,
the
well
lotto.
let's it like okay. That was what I was gonna say. But then I was like, all right, well, the girl fights will probably more likely go to decision. But
So
like,
we'll take Irina Alekseeva here by decision, and we'll go Iron Turtle, Jun Hyung Park by decision,
that's plus 150 on DK.
and then for mine, I'll probably take. Let me see real quick. Uh, you guys have a lot of the good ones already. Probably
And if it's like 6 in the morning, Max is riding with us. Shout out Max, bro.
7:20.
Australia.
I think his time is 12 hours exactly. So I think it's 7:30. Early bird catches the worm. So he's here for the locks. Oh, 9:30
I'm
over there.
through.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Hamdi Abdelwahab by points. So we got 3 points. The decision lie. We got Irina Alekseeva by points, Young Park by points, and Hamdi Abdelwahab by points. That's 1333. That's good luck. 1333 on the odds on FanDuel, and there'll probably be a boost at some point. So we'll have that in. But yeah, besides that, thanks for joining again as always, guys. We'll be locking in with our plays and gems, and yeah, what Jamal Hill's probably
Yeah,
getting. Yeah, how do you
thanks
feel?
for thanks for supporting MMA Gems and the Fade Factory. And if you made it all the way, to here, I just want to say, rehash on what Mike had said earlier in the podcast. What we bet and what we put out is what we believe is the best option for you to take a wager that's going to win. But we give you tools and other things to look up, like other possibilities that we've researched. And that's a large part of the reason why we do this podcast. Now, we've said there's one or two fights on this card where someone can get flash KO'd, but we're not picking that. So just subscribe. Make sure you're using all the tools that we offer in order for you to make the best decisions when betting. So we try to make it like, yeah, you can just listen to what our bets are and put them in and copy them. But at the same time, we try to lay every possible scenario out there for you. So thanks for listening and another great episode, Mike.
Yep, let's cash out, boys. We'll see you at the cash counter after Saturday. Oh, yeah, reminder before we end. Card starts at around noon Eastern time. So make sure to try to get your slips in if you're going to be out drinking on